Okay, so I'm listening to this, and I had to wait because I was actually uploading my video to Angela, and it was like all these tiny clips of Nosferatu, so it took ages to fucking export and then upload. So now I can listen to it, but I was listening to it, and oh my god, those guys! If you ever wanted to see a font of, it's like one of those vents that you get at the bottom of the ocean, and they all just hang around it, and you wanted all of the psychopaths to see where all the fucking cretins are. They're all here feeding off this right now, because as I've proven, as well as I said in my upload, this is low level shit we're dealing with here. This is stuff that people shouldn't be touching with a barge pole, people who had anything about them, and that's all I've got to say about it. Excuse me. It also shows how afraid of a real conversation these two are, because how they've reacted to this is that, oh, CP's been high-atted, CP's having such a terrible time, CP was having such a lovely time, and then that all happened. Well, for a second, I don't listen to my own voice here, but for a second, like, I'd already said I was going, as I've said. So they're all... These are the sad sadists right here. These are even worse, these lot. And I'll tell you why, because they're feeding off this. So that is an interaction between me and Angela. And I wondered if these two would take the bait because it was so low grade. And they have. And the giddy kipperness. But I'll tell you who's the worst in it. Captain N. Absolutely. Giddy kippering off the fucking scale. And because he's been waiting for his opportunity, he's been waiting, and it just shows how scared he is of me, because he has just been waiting for it, and because it shows their ignorance as well, as I was just about to say, their interpretation of a confrontational discussion, which obviously they're trying to spin, and it shows their ignorance, it shows their desperation, and it shows their priorities so much. I'm just gonna have to go over the actual what they're saying at some point, because I've got so much to say on this. They've shown all of that in just their reaction to how this has gone on and what they've tried to spin it off as, so that, you know, they're going off like saying that I've been gotcha'd, and maybe they did try it as a gotcha, but it's like they've shown their ignorance of me, like as if I don't know. So because I'm a free radical now, I'm off on my own, I do what I want, I'm not in with anyone, or otherwise I've got no expectations of anyone. It just shows these guys don't listen to a word I'm saying. They don't listen to the reasons why I'm around or what I'm here for. Like, they're like, oh, your dream psychopath boyfriend. What does that say, Evil? What are you talking about? I was having a laugh because it's a mix, and it's a mix in a crazy confrontational situation. It's not just a load of ninny old grannies all sitting around trying to pile their lies onto someone, trying to pick on one person to get them out with all your psycho shit. And you've just got, and I say like, and Captain N going, oh yes, Pace, that's correct. Oh, haha, lol, Pace. And that is just absolutely the pinnacle. You wondered why I waited. You wondered why I waited to do this. And it's because it had to be ripe. I need to go and get a drink. I didn't think about this. I was just thinking about getting it ready and getting it on, because I've been trying to upload that video. But I've got a few other things to say.
You were right. Like, if you put the two females, like, even in a chat, even in a fucking panel, by the way, guys, the StreamYard now, we can have up to 10 people. Did you know that, people? I think it's 10 people.
So as if I didn't want to have confrontational conversations with those guys. I did have an issue on that day because I had to go. It was like 6:45 in the morning, and I was not getting into a shouting match where that lady was shouting her name over, just doing the Dean approach, right? Which I'm not like going to be surprised that was going to raise its head, but maybe not at that time to ambush me. It's just not going to work. So all they're going to achieve is this, which is just going, oh, you buried me, but it's not. You didn't really, did you? Because, well, you got me off the stream when I was leaving anyway. So, you know, I'll give you that. But like, and then look at what they're doing with it. So fair dues. That's all you had to do. But we could, we could actually have a to and fro about this, and we can, as long as it's done sensitively, and we don't just do it for the sake of this sort of shit when it's about that. That's all I'm talking about. Everything else is fair game, And I was up for it. Like I said, I even in my upload when I was even considering like where that is, in the whole drama to and fro, and I took it as a bit of a what do I say, like a welcome almost to you guys, which I appreciated. But I'm just a free person who goes around. I'm just a bit distracted listening to them. There was other things, which is, Dean, if you do hear this, listen to this. Did you ever see the day when these guys were hiding and waited in the woodwork until Dean TV made his play, right? And Dean did this. And like I say, it was quite low level because they waited until I was about to go. So it really was just like, all they had to do was be like, oh yeah, CP had to leave. So, which again is hilarious because, well, that's the whole basis of why Lewis says he beat Slotham the other week. So that's something funny in itself. He never thought that one through. Always talking shit, Ricardo. Oh, I wonder who's always talking shit around here. So I'm talking shit right now, mate. Enjoy it. I'm just doing this because it was just the easiest way to do it. He feels bad, but he's happy to. He's talking absolute. He's the one talking shit. He doesn't stand behind any of his actions. He feels bad, but he's going about all this, hiding behind. And this is a fucking Ricardo move all over. Evil. How the mighty have fallen. You're hiding behind Dean's trolling to get some sort of a win over me, and fucking Captain N waiting for that to come in because he was so scared that he has to wait for that chink in the armor, and he's just in like a rat up a drain pipe. But again, he's really heavy-handed with it. So it's an absolute beauty to behold. It really is. I can't wait to actually look at the chat. I can't really see it because I've got to charge my phone at the same time, so I can only hear it and just kind of see a blurred chat. But what I did see was Captain N kissing Pace arse, and that's just fucking mind-blowing. After the shit that he is fucking... The shit, the crying, the actual crying. The actual crying, mate, that went on about that. But that's a story for another time. And oh, he's back. Oh, I haven't even seen this Albert thing because I didn't get a notification for it yet. I didn't view it. So he's just making that up. That's just Albert making that shit up about me viewing Angela is the enemy. I never did. I went away thinking, what am I supposed to do about this? And maybe Albert's like trying to spin it into something, to make a drama out of it. But again, Albert, it's just a bit distasteful, this particular subject. That's all it is. Because I do think that the lady involved, she might be a little bit vulnerable. If everything what you're saying is true, she might be a little bit vulnerable, and she never did ask to be dragged into this repeatedly. Do you know what I mean? And that's my take on it. And why fly the flag for not having people exploited by exploiting someone who's had a bad time? That's my point. That's all it is. And there's ways to discuss it. There is ways to discuss it. And I am not in support of anybody doing anything bad to anyone in that sense. And you know it. But I don't think this is the arena for that. And I know that there's other agendas behind it regarding Hyatt. And that is fucking Dean Lewis's and your sort of argument with him that's him and you. Like, I have washed my hands at first when I felt like he was like a vulnerable person being abused and bullied, and he was trying to, get around in this place, and maybe he'll get out eventually. He said he was going to leave. He did leave, and then he went back for more, and that was it. Then I was like, okay, this is what you've chosen. This is your choice. But is it really what she's chosen? When I don't know how that went about and how it was brokered, but that's my point. And I just think the real person who should be fighting this battle is not here shouting about it. So unless that person's here doing, and neither of the people involved in this are here to talk about it. And to be honest, I'd rather give the lady the voice. So that's all I've got to say on the matter regarding it on a deep level. But really, my interest, as I said in my upload, is about the psychology. And look at these guys. So not only their ignorance that they can't understand what a real conversation is. So someone brings something up, which has come up before with me in the past, and I've appreciated being confronted by that. But it's just not the arena for it, in my opinion. For these reasons, look at these sad bastards. And again, like Captain N is the absolute pinnacle of it. He really is. I mean, Tommy, I've seen you in there. I know you're hiding, but I have seen you in there putting your little feathers out so that you're in there as well. You're not above it. That's just one of them. But yeah, like I'm saying, like having to wait for Dean. Like, did you see those two both, their streams earlier? I had a click over. They were both just lonely fucking gaming streams where they've stopped talking about me, haven't they? Because Scorned FM was off air for a little bit, for like half a day. But they can't help it. They're so scorned. That is what it shows. That after all that, what happened with Dean and all the rest of it and all the stuff that happened with Albert, and they're still hateful of them, and they still haven't been able to be the free radicals like I have, and they've not been able to do their shit because they've had to close ranks and get their shorter bus because they can't have anyone who says anything or sees anything. So they've gone and done all that and spun it out and spun it round and round so narrow now that they just can't see that anyone can have like an open conversation of any sort. I mean, they've done all that anyway, and they've shut everyone down and shut everyone away, started an entire war against Dean, and then a little fucking cheap ass play from Dean that's just the start of a conversation, which I appreciated. I appreciate the conversation is enough for those guys to use it. I mean, just before I was able to start this, I heard Evil just be like, "Serves you right, cunt," like that, and I was just like, "Oh my god!" It just shows it all. Like, so because Dean did that little joke, little thing, he did that, and he put that on it. He put that amount of personal stuff on that. It says it all, mate. That just said it all, and I was just like, God damn, why hadn't I started fucking doing it by then? But I hadn't. So now I've said my piece about that's kind of what I'd seen up to now and the things I'd seen. Obviously, due date, Nelda. I wanted you potentially in on this, Cyan, because you've always got a lot to say on this, and I do believe that is Cyan. And I do believe you've got a massive axe to grind. And I was thinking, since you've always got something to say and you are just literally insidious, you remind me so much. Bob Newbin's like the old version of you. Like, it's the same planet. It's that psycho planet. It's like that planet. And fucking Ricardo's on that planet. Tommy's on that planet. You've got the orbiting planets of like the symptoms where you've got Paste and Captain N and almost like Evil, and it's a weird little solar system of weird planets you've got going on there. But yeah, Nelda, Judy, total shit show. I know, it's crazy. I know, and they just can't get it. They just don't get it. They think, oh, she deserves it. Fucking cunt. Total Scorned FM. And it's like, we hadn't even started with the shit show yet. That was just Buttocks' like bit of foreplay. Are you joking? Are you jesting? He went easy. He waited until I was about to leave, which wasn't actually that useful because it meant I couldn't have the conversation, which is a bit annoyed. We were all screwed. Who are? Who is this anyway? Is this you, Dorshin? Because I was going to ask Nelda, Judy, Cyan, since you're out and about the place all the time, you should be in on this panel thing. If we were to have like the female corner, and we could have me, Angela, Lima, Cyan, Nelda, Judy, 56K Warning, we could have it all on, chatting about shit and just talking about all the different plays that are going on, all the different things that people are trying to pull, and all our different opinions and personalities. And I mean, there's only so many times you can say to me, have you took your meds today? Because on voice, because eventually we'll have a debate about it. Yeah, I don't know. Is that you, Doshin? I don't know. But is that you? If that's you, Cyan, what do you reckon? I think it's a fucking great idea. You're in here doing your staring around shit. Why not just fucking come on? And we'll just fucking point them out and have a laugh. It'd be great funny. That's what I thought. And we'll just have the feel. Because, I mean, those fannies over there, they're doing a right shit job of being old grandmas. We could actually be old grandmas. This is what I was thinking. I was just like, wow, how can I use like this bit of, so they want a bit of drama, they're throwing a bit of drama my way, but like it's not something I like the taste of, but how can I get interest out of it? How can I use it to my advantage for my own growth and learning without using someone else's trauma, which I don't want to do. But I do want to use the interaction with Angela and even Dean by proxy, but I don't really want to deal with Dean face to face because he just got so much of an axe to grind and it will just cut down too much communication. But listen to these fucking idiots. I mean, Judge Judy, is that you in the chat over that down there? Because I mean, you're filling it up. You are desperate for the attention. So I don't know if, I mean, oh bless her. I mean, I don't even know if that's what's going on with Cyan there, because it's just entirely. And what is going on with you guys? That all you've got now is Cyan, who you always fucking. And now I'm going to try and be nice to you now because I want you to come on. But, like, no offense, but my point is, Judy, Cyan, fucking whatever, is that all the hatred and all the fucking ostracizing because of the way you were before, and then they just turn on their heel and have you as the fucking mascot and hide behind your bullshit. And they sit there trying to be the fucking white knights now, and say it and being all like the paragons of virtue while they're dodging around and sliming around doing this sort of shit. That's just my point. It really is. But and the vitriol you've got and the being your bonnet you've got for me is fucking off the scale. And that is just interesting to me. Like, why you've got such a fixation on me? Is it because I did all those videos? Is it because I did the blue tent video? I don't know. When did it start? No, it was before that. You've always hated me. You've like hated me since. I remember that message that you sent me when, don't get used to the limelight, by one of your random alt accounts. And I was like, and I always knew it was you. But like, you just had a problem with me because I don't think you wanted a woman in here. Is that what it is? But that's why you should come on and we should just have it out on the panel. Do it as a weekly thing. If Angela wants to come on as well, because I thought that'd be good as well, because you've not got like totally pro CPE people. Because I was like, oh, it'd be cool if Lima was involved with that. But then I didn't want Angela to feel like I'm putting all my mates in. But then I don't want her bringing all the random mates in who don't know anything. So I was just like, and also Dean can fuck off if he thinks he's joining up, if it, you know, in any way. But I was like, Cyan, if Cyan is Judy, Nelda, whatever, Cyan's been around for all of this and has an opinion, even though the opinion is generally, I hate CPE. Hopefully we can get past that on voice. What's it? We're going to talk about it. Yeah, we do want to talk about it. That's what the whole point. It's all about communication. Why do you think I'm here? I'm here to watch, and I'm here, and I've said I don't give a shit about affecting it. Although I did kind of wait to see if you were going to take the fucking bait, and you fucking did. Slimy behaviour. Oh, it's slimy as fuck. Slimy as fuck. Really slimy. But then everyone's a slime ball around here, you know, or there's a lot of them. But I like to point it out. It's just like fucking shooting fish in a barrel. So Evil's there going, oh, I predict that CPE's going to say, oh, we're going to talk about it. We're just going to talk about it. That's just enough time for him to put my upload on and watch a bit of it. Or even just put it on the fucking, on silent with the transcript or whatever. So and I know Evil. I know him for a fact. He would have had that straight away, and that just shows how fucking low level he is. Oh, I predict that CPU is going to do this. He just like interjects it completely out of the blue in the middle of the conversation. And that's why my ears pricked up, because I could hear his voice do it. I could hear his voice change. I could like, he's trying one. He's trying one.
Even if she's brainwashed, you gave the most retarded response some bulky bullshit garbage you could ever give.
Why? Just the truth. It was just the truth. I'm not bothered about my response. My response is my response. Listen to this idiot. Look at you feeding off this. Something that you've wanted to promote for all this time, and I've always stayed out of it. Yet just because I supported someone who I thought was being bullied, a vulnerable adult when I thought he was being bullied, who when he went back for more bullying, I decided to leave it. And then when they're still pushing it, I say I don't want to talk about it. And this is what all these people are so desperate for, something to fucking eat on, that they're doing this. I never said I supported anything, and everybody knows it. Everybody knows it. Yeah, they are kidding you, Albert, and you're probably kidding everyone else because you want the drama. But you know that all I want is a conversation, and I'm not going to do it being ambushed as I'm about to leave the stream, to start being shouted down in a Dean type conversation stroke argument, when it was very evident from the start that I'm a monster racist piece of shit now. I'm a monster racist piece of shit. For what reason? He has got no. That is just him interjecting that as like feather in the nest and just going, oh well, here's someone else who I've been against for ages now saying this. I'm going to hide behind that now, and because I've got someone else, I can be part of the chorus and be like, oh yeah, she's a racist and she's a piece of shit and what was it? I'm a monster as well. So just chucking it in there. They know that is just the ultimate projection. They have just spent. I've got streams upon streams upon streams downloaded of them being racist towards me all the time. They can't hide away from it. I mean, Ron is the biggest racist going. And we've even discussed that before in the past. Why has it gone quiet? Oh, have they finished already? Oh, yeah, because he's pissed up. But that just shows you, listen to their lonely streams from earlier. And listen to their how giddy they are after they've fed now. But yeah, I would say that I will finish now since they've finished, because I wasn't going to stream at this time. And I will be looking at this, but I'll probably put a game on while I'm going to be doing a bit of interestingness, because it is, I mean, this is the pinnacle. It is ripe. It has ripened. The fruit has been taken. And I thank you, Dean, and I thank you, Buttocks, and I thank you, Angela, for you got the gotcha of gotchas. So it really is. I mean, because the gotcha might have been a gotcha from your perspective, but for me, it was just a process, and it was just a thing that was happening. Very interesting. Yeah. I was like, oh my God, this is fucking brilliant. And when I saw in the fucking chat, Captain Ed, and the things he was doing, and then he was like, oh, paste, oh, fantastic paste. Like, the beautiful taste, the taste. But paste, if you're listening, if you want to discuss that, I don't know where you stand on that, but that is, I think we've been through a process now, and I'm willing, and I really would like to talk to Mr. Matthews. I really would, about all this, because this guy now just shows, and that's what I mean about being this font where they were all in there making their play. That was the point, making their play. So we've got Judy, Nelda, Cyan doing their play, which, like I say, if you'll come on the panel, it would be banging. And then we've got, and maybe their play is they just want, I don't know, they've got a thing about me, but they also want attention. So, and they want to get something out. I don't know, an expression. I don't know. But then you've got Captain N with his like waiting in the wings, absolute classic, going in on. Is it any surprise that these creeps are going straight in on this thing, this particular type of controversy, this particular type of really disgusting stuff, and you can tick off the names on that chat of people who are just interested in this sort of interested in not the psychology of it, they're interested in the stuff that in the meat of it, in the depravity of it, in the just chewing on people. Yeah, you're sitting on the back burner. Who are you? Who are you though? Is it you, Dorshin? Well, I didn't notice you on there, but like you can just, I don't count you in with them. I don't, you've got your own thing. You're a free radical, but you kind of are, but you're too attached to Ricardo, unfortunately, to make, I have to do it with the ebb and flow with you, don't I? I have to wait for the weather. You are a free radical, but you are also subject to the weather, as I'm probably subject to my own weather as well. So there's that. But yeah, it's ripe. That was just a beautiful. That was the fruit, and you've got I mean, Paste and Captain N. That was it. That's it all together. All just feeding on some poor woman who's been exploited one way or another, and then there's me as well involved in it, and I'm just pointing it out because it's psychology in it. But yeah, there is psychology involved. I know I said in my upload it's not psychology, but I just want to clarify that since I'm on. That there is obviously psychology involved of two very young people who had a really hard upbringing and a really hard time, really hard traumatic experiences that are being raked over in public for people's cheap entertainment. And so that is psychology, but not necessarily the thing I'm really going for with this. This is meant to be the troll dojo and a bit of fun and just taking the piss out of, as your username rightly says, some mentally ill, sick fucks that are around. Absolutely. And we know the cause, and the cause is the thing that we're doing it on. How meta is that? So the actual internet and all the computer games and the fact it's retro, which means everyone's having a midlife crisis, and they're also been doing it since they were 9. It's all in the name. It's just a thing, innit? Everyone is cannibalistic, eat or be eaten. Yeah, or just watch them do it. Just watch them do it. But I'm going to kind of nibble. I suppose I'm eating. I'm consuming, watching that dynamic between those people rather than the individual people involved. I don't want to eat anyone individually in this. I don't see the benefit of it. There are some people I really want to teach a lesson to. There are some people who are there's one particular person who's an absolute fucking cowardice fucking pussy, and some of his fucking comments tonight just say it all, and just such a fucking, oh my god, the projection. And it's just, he's so heavy-handed and so crude. No wonder he keeps deleting his channels. And the fact that he's already got this whole history of being a massive creep on the internet and harassing a woman, then coming and doing my shit, then tonight trying to spin his yarns because he thought I was gone or something. He thought I was being quiet. They all thought that they'd got me or something, but it wasn't. It was just because it took so fucking long to do my video. And I went to bed for a bit. And I've been doing shit, just shit in the house. Like, I had to get my toilet fucking unblocked. It was blocked, my upstairs toilet. So I was doing that. And that just took my day up. So it just didn't quite. I remember when I went to bed, I was like, oh, I shouldn't really be doing this now because the timing rise. But actually, it doesn't fucking matter. I know, middle-aged crybabies, exactly. And people who are likely to have been the ones who watched too much TV or had too many computer games or were maybe ignored more because they had all the gear and no idea. Maybe it was similar. It all came from fucking Tommy Tallarico. All the gear and no idea. He, the whole thing, as far as I saw it, was an extension of a guy that probably at a very young age, and I've seen it in some of my friends who, like, when they were younger, used to, like, get weed for people or something like that. But they never had to make the effort for people to come around to their house. They never had to socially engage that much because people would always be going around to get weed. I think with Tommy Tallarico, I saw a similarity in that, but it was worse, way worse, where it was just that lazy attitude because everyone was just going around to his pad because he had the pleasure dome and he had his fucking, everything probably. So he never had to build those social skills at that level, and just had all the gear and no idea. So I would imagine there's quite a few people in this community that's like that, and there's people who, just were ahead of the game, and so everyone was just wanting to play with their shit all the time. And so you've got that sort of weird fuck up at the start of your life, and then you've just got the general fuck up of just being the first generation really that had the babysitter that's similar to Cable Guy, in the Cable Guy sense. And it's, for me, the whole reason I'm pondering that and looking at that is because I've got to be so careful with my kid, because it's just such it's a sewer in your fucking house, an open sewer to your house. And it's just, if you leave your kid unguarded, I have to remind myself all the time, because he'll just go on and be like, oh, can I have a go on Minecraft? And you're like, yeah, all right. And then the next thing you know, you come in, I've been doing something, I might have been outside, and I got into doing a bit of weeding or something for half an hour. But in my head, I'm just there going, oh shit, he's on that. And I don't need that. So I just need to, sort that out in my head. But it's, I feel like I've probably got more of a handle on it than a lot of parents. Maybe I'm a little bit anal about it, but, I've got a kid that's really, really into it. So once he's on, he's on. So you've got to be really careful about not letting him have too much screen time. And if I ever needed anything to encourage me to do that, this investigation and this just all these examples and specimens are enough to prove it to me. So I've done my half an hour. It's actually bang on half an hour. I've said my piece. I was going to do a bit more of a reaction to those guys if they'd have been saying anything. Probably once I'd got it all out of my system, which I have now, but they've finished by now. And I could go back over it, but I kind of maybe should put the twigs on or something and get myself sorted. And I might do it in a couple of hours. I might go over that, because that is the pinnacle. And if Dean has got a response to that, I would be interested, because at the end of the day, it's just so interesting with the whole way that the war went and all that. It's like you've got these guys now feeding on Dean's plays. And it wasn't even that major a play either. It was just, you could see how starved the community was for, Albert's just jumped on it big time, obviously firecracker and this, that, the other. It was like a tinderbox ready to go. It was like everyone's dry and husked out, and it's just like the dry grass in my backyard. Yeah, the truth will set me through. That's it, exactly. Walking the light in this place. And it's just an interesting fucking thing, because half that stuff that you're looking at, no one's fucking looked at for years. And so you're like, whoa, who'd have thought that was over there? There's some treasure over there. No one's even looked. It's too fucking dark. Hey up. Exactly. Yeah, exactly. True. Did you hear anything of what I've said? It's a conversation, isn't it, mate? And you know that's why I'm on it with you, because I like being confronted. I just don't, I didn't have a problem with how they did it because it's Dean, but I did know it wasn't conducive to the best conversation, at the time, especially since my kid was getting up. There's no way I could be like there where she's going, Angela, and I'm like, Angela, there's no way I could do that with my kid just coming down the stairs. So it's just one of them. But, Albert, we should have a chat. We should have a chat in a few hours. You guys will be all in bed by then, though, won't you? Yeah, I think it'd be fucking awesome, don't you? I think me and Angela doing a panel, weekly panel, just fucking taking everything apart, taking each other apart. It don't have to be all friendly if she don't want to be. If she wants to be like that, she can be. She can approach it like that if she wants. But I do think that between us, I was like, oh, there's another woman, and I found a thinker. She actually had a question. You know what I mean? So I was just like, there's no way I'm gonna fucking go down I'm the enemy, they're the enemy route. No way. No way, we've been through that. We've done that. It's like, no. I'm not about the Groundhog Day. And that's why I went back to talk to you guys, like, because I'm not about the Groundhog Day. We've moved on. We had moved on, whether Dean likes it or not. We have moved on to another room. It doesn't mean that I fucking respect any of his fucking moves or any of that shit. It might mean that I've got a bit more understanding for it, possibly. But like, I still think this is fucking low grade shit to dance around in. But it's an interesting thing to talk about as a dynamic. Totally radical. I'm a totally free radical dude. Exactly. And I think we all are, all of us lot are, who are in this chat right now. And it doesn't, and when you are, it doesn't fucking matter. Interdimensional. We can go up, out, in, around, underneath, behind. We can do all those things because we're not attached to any of these other people and being all like, oh, you beat that person and that person buried that person. Lewis, bless him, straight in with the hosannas. Lewis has just shot himself in the foot, though, as I said. So what does that leave us with the Slotham Lewis thing, eh? So what do you reckon then? In a few hours, I will do some twigs and I will listen to these giddy kippers doing their thing. And I'll also listen to Albert's. But I think Albert's will just be Albert doing his thing. It's Albert's art, isn't it? It's what he does. So we'll see. We'll have a look at Albert's. And I'll have a look at Ricardo's. Is it Evil's? See, it's the same thing, isn't it? Fucking same people. One beast, two heads. And the organ grinder sat behind, stirring his silence cake. So on that note, guys, thank you for coming to the chat. I've just put it down for posterity. And I'll be in for some twigging later. All right. See you later.